Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building.
That's right. Another very cold morning. It is freezing out there.
You ain't lying.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Negative, I don't know. It's probably negative something.
It probably feels like of negative too. I'm a feels like guy. And I tell you what.
Jesus.
It feels like we got another good morning. Breeze Nation, what's good? It's your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building.
Yo.
I have to get into on today's episode as I saw it as soon as he went in. Second Drake Maye got into that Super Bowl. It was like people couldn't help themselves. Oh, we should have went Drake Maye. We gotta go. Here we go. It's time we should have went Maye.
Oh, boy.
We gotta have the conversation. Did the Chicago Bears make the right call going Drake Maye or Caleb Williams over Drake Maye? Also, grade the rookie class. Take a look at what they did this year. Ladies and gentlemen, the date is 1/26/2026. Oh, that's interesting. 7:05 in the morning. And Jordan JC, I'll tell you what.
What's up?
It should have been us.
That's what Jaquan said.
It should have been us. Watched that game yesterday. That was a winnable game.
Very.
Should have been us. It should have been me, Lord. I was doing it. Never mind. All that more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily, the Morning Breeze edition. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. George JC, what's going on, bro?
Man, I'm good. But yeah, I'm uttering the same thing Jaquan said. I feel like I don't care what anybody says. Chicago should still be playing. My heart is breaking because you're looking at the scores of these games. You're looking at the way this kind of just all kind of unfolded. Man, we should be right there.
Yeah. Listen, there was opportunity for you, and that's where the improvement has to come in next season. There's a lot to look at from what did make the Super Bowl this year, and I'll say this: no matter what, you got a heck of a draft class with quarterbacks, with Drake Maye, with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. I throw Bo Nix in there. It don't feel right. The Bo Nix stuff don't feel right, but I literally looked at that game yesterday and was like, Bo Nix probably wins you this game.
Yeah. Jared Stidham
out there. Although Jared Stidham threw some really nice footballs, but
he had flashes.
It didn't. Yeah, the weather going downhill like that. Like you want to talk about bare weather? There was some weather out there that was affecting the game. But no, man, I thought that this was interesting. I saw this on Twitter last night, almost immediately after Drake Maye went into it punched his ticket for the Super Bowl. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, like, at first, as a Bears fan, you immediately go, all right, let's let the idiots play. It is what it is. But then I think you do got to look at the conversation of what Drake Maye has been this season. And I think it is okay to say, not that you got the wrong quarterback, but do you like the fact that you went Caleb Williams over Drake Maye, seeing what Drake Maye has accomplished here in his second year? Very different schedule, very different team, but I think there's a lot of pros and cons with the two different quarterbacks that you can look at and have an argument on both sides. And listen, that's all it takes to make something a good conversation. So Jordan JC, I'll start with you. When you look at the scenario now that has been laid out here, Mike Vrabel taking the Patriots to the Super Bowl in his first year as head coach there, Drake Maye being at the lead of that. Do you feel like the Bears made the right decision going Caleb Williams over Drake Maye?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be a prisoner of the moment and sit here and say that, oh, all of a sudden, because one person got further in their career, that means we failed or we passed up on the guy. We did not pass up on the wrong guy. Caleb Williams was the unequivocal number one guy. Unequivocally, he was the guy that we were going to go with. You look at Drake Maye's stats. You can tell that he obviously improved. He took a big leap from year one to year two. And that's a credit to the coaching staff. That's a credit to the team that they built around him. They improved in a lot of different areas. They got a better defense. You know, he had some more weapons on offense. You know, you're talking about Stephon Diggs and a lot of other, Travion Henderson. Those guys really added to the weaponry that the Patriots needed to get far. And then, of course, the coaching staff is where I think it took it over the top. You look at the game that Drake Maye had against Denver, it wasn't all world. He had a rushing touchdown, but he was sacked 5 times, and he didn't throw for any touchdowns. He had a subpar rating at 58.8, only 86 yards thrown in the air. And so they won 10-7. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, because he made it to the championship, that we should have gotten Drake Maye over Caleb. It's a team sport at the end of the day, and that team did what it needed to do to get to the top of the top as of right now. I love where we're at. And again, I will go back to what Briscoe said. Caleb did everything that he needed to do to put us in a position to win. And if Drake Maye was in that same position, I'm not sure if he would have done the things that Caleb would have done to keep us in the game, and the constant winning drives and comeback plays and comeback drives that we've seen throughout the season. And so that's where I look at the comparison is, if you were to place Drake Maye on this team with the additions that we've had, do you think that he would have been a better quarterback or a better player for the Bears than Caleb? And I think no. I think that we're right where we need to be. We have the person that we need going forward in the future. And I don't want this to be some RG3 Andrew Luck conversation where, again, it's the moment where we're like, oh, one person looks better than the other. We had this already as an argument with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. And now look at what's going on. Obviously, injury is really rattling JD5's career. But my point is, be patient. Let time pass, and you'll see the fruits of your labor with Caleb Williams.
Here's the part that I think is tough. Drake Maye's the better quarterback right now, right? He just is, right? Like from a pure numbers standpoint, Drake Maye's the better quarterback.
Sure, numbers.
Drake Maye's 72% completion percentage. It's not even just listen. He could be the MVP if not for the fact that they literally were like, well, Stafford's 100, so what he's doing is more impressive.
Okay.
Drake Maye has less at the wide receiver position. He has less on the offensive line. He has less in the running game than Caleb Williams does. He has a worse offense. He just does. It is impressive what Drake Maye has done this season. I think that you can look at Drake Maye and go, he's the better quarterback right now. What I think you can't say is he the better quarterback for Chicago? Because even all the points that we say, well, he wouldn't have been able to survive getting hit that much. Drake Maye got sacked 47 times last year. He survived. By the way, he only played half a season. Or he only played, what did he play last year? 8 games, 9 games? What did he play last year?
He had 2,200 yards.
What did he have last year? He played in 13 games last year. He got sacked 47 times. It's a lot of sacks. So I think he could have survived the on the field part of this. He could have survived Matt Eberflus. So a lot of that conversation, it's not like JD5 to Caleb for me. I think that you actually can look at him and say he's better at this, and this than where Caleb is right now. What you cannot say, and I think the most important thing for this conversation is that Drake Maye is the right quarterback for Chicago. Because in Chicago, it's not just about the talent. Jay Cutler had talent. How many players have come through here with talent? Zach LaVine had talent. Tim Anderson had talent. It's about, do you have the star to outshine the stupidity? Because that's usually where a lot of the conversations end up derailing players where it gets into the mind of a player and they're just like, just ignore everything. Caleb don't ignore it. Caleb looks at everything that everybody says, takes it head on and says, guess what? Let me go out here and prove you wrong. That's a special kind of star. And I think that's what you need to be successful in the city of Chicago more than anything, because it's not just overcoming the simple stuff of getting better on the football field and yada, yada, yada. You got to overcome the narratives that are placed against you. You have to overcome everything that's said about you every single time you have a down moment. Think about any time Caleb struggled, it instantly became, was he the right guy? Was it the answer? Is this the right move? Yada. Like, there's so much that goes into being a star player in Chicago. Dare I say, being the quarterback of the Chicago Bears is probably the biggest star that you can have. You have to understand where your strengths are and be able to match that. And so I look at this as a situation where you have a really, really good quarterback that also can handle every part of what Chicago brings. Oh, by the way, he's also a winning QB. Oh, by the way, he also has won you multiple games and is the reason that you have won these games. Oh, by the way, he's also a big part of the reason that a lot of these pieces have taken that next step because of him pushing them as well. So while Drake Maye has been phenomenal in the playoffs, outside of the last game it is what it is. But for the most part, you have seen him go out there and get the job done. I don't think that I would rather have Drake Maye in Chicago because I don't know if Drake Maye could deal with everything that comes with being the guy in Chicago. I think in the long term, you have to have the right guy for yourself. Now, where I do have a problem with the process, and probably always will have a problem with the process, is the fact that Ryan Poles did not have the mindset at that point to bring Drake Maye in. And on top of that, to have a conversation with Mike Vrabel. My issue with what the Bears have done in the past is how they've gone about bringing guys into the building or not. And now we saw that process change at the perfect time. We end up with Ben Johnson. We've got Caleb Williams in the building. We feel good about the future of this team. And I truly do. I think that this is going to be a team that's going to have a lot of successes and win for a long time. But it took a lot for you to get to the point where processes. And that's my biggest issue with everything. When you look at how Ryan Poles dealt with things in the past, it was, this is the decision. Nothing else is going to matter. Because you could building. You could have talked to Drake Maye. And I feel like the process had to improve in that regard. Did JC freeze on? Did my stuff freeze? Oh, nope. Okay. All right. JC froze. I'm sitting here. I'm like, what is happening right now? But no, like, to me, that's the biggest thing that I look at. I look at how, what the heck? What is happening? Is my computer tweaking right now? Y'all got us? Check. Okay, my computer's just having a stroke, huh? I guess so. All right. So I think we're back. I believe we're back. I think we're back in the building, back in business, back and better than ever. Greeny. Give me a second to get Jordan JC back up in this mug. I don't know what the heck happened. My computer or maybe OBS decided to have a stroke. And maybe still is. Joy said, somebody said, you're good for now. All right. I don't know what happened. That was weird. Joint just shut down, but I think we are back. Appreciate y'all for dealing with us through the technical difficulties. Somebody said Caleb is the one that called the kill switch on it. I don't know how. Listen, it's nothing but praise for Caleb. I think that's what a lot of this comes down to for me is, while maybe you don't have the better quarterback in the draft, I don't think you have a better quarterback for your city, and that's incredibly important. And that probably will end up being better for you in the long run. There's a lot of quarterbacks that Aaron Rodgers is a more talented quarterback than Tom Brady. He is. There's a lot of quarterbacks that maybe showed more promise early on or showed more talent early on or whatever it is, where you went, oh, that's the next guy. And yet Tom Brady's the one that has all the rings and we consider the GOAT. So when I look at the situation that the Bears put themselves in, I have issues with the process they went through to get Caleb here, because I don't think you did your due diligence. I think you just locked in on people, and you see that with a lot of the quarterbacks that are around the league that are also having a ton of success. But realistically speaking, there's no quarterback that's a better fit for the city of Chicago than Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams could potentially be better than Drake than all these guys, because he already has the special down packed. He has the things that you can't believe down packed. The throw off of the back foot going backwards 50 yards to
Unbelievable.
net. Not many quarterbacks can do that. And we've seen that on display time and time again in the most pivotal of moments. So Caleb has the cojones and the courage to do what he needs to do in the clutch moments. Now, when it comes to the boring part of football and being more efficient with your passes, he said as much going into the offseason. The little things need to be worked on, the footwork, his presence in the pocket, his accuracy. Obviously, he knows he's going to work on those things. And that's why I think the pairing of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams will make Caleb Williams one of the best quarterbacks in the league eventually.
Yeah.
So, you talk about Drake Maye being in the conversation for MVP this year. I totally agree. Drake Maye is going to be a very good quarterback in this league for years to come. He is on the potential and on the cusp of winning a Super Bowl in his second year.
Yeah.
Maybe. But even if that does happen or it doesn't happen, that has nothing to do with the projection and what we have here in Chicago with Caleb. I think Caleb has the ability and has shown the ability to take on that responsibility of the Chicago fan base and the Chicago culture and what it means to be a Chicago Bears quarterback. After all of the failures and the mistakes at that position, we've got it right, and we have confidence that we have a franchise quarterback. It will take just another offseason or so for us to realize that potential, him to realize his full potential in a sense. And so that's the exciting part, is the ceiling hasn't been hit yet. You can say all these other quarterbacks have certain things that they do better than Caleb at this point, but once Caleb figures it all out, that's when you watch out.
Yeah, listen, I think that's the thing too, right? Like, you talk about success, you talk about what a guy can be in the future. Drake Maye is phenomenal. I'm not saying Drake Maye can't get better. I think you put some better weapons around him, he will be better. His best weapon is Stephon Diggs, and let's be real, Stephon Diggs is not very good anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's one of those things to me where, like, it is impressive what he's doing and what he's done this year in the NFL, because I don't think his offense is very good. I look at that defense. I think that defense is phenomenal, but, like, offensively, I think he has a pretty terrible offense. And he is the reason that they have seen any offensive success this season. And I don't think it's a situation where you look at those games and go, well, the reasons that they lost are X, Y, and Z. But I also think when you look at the long term of this, and I said this, coming as soon as the offseason ended, Caleb's weapons are outlined. Caleb and Colston Lovelin, I think, are going to be one of the best duos in football over the next 10 years.
Totally agree.
I think that you have a wide receiving core right now that perfectly complements that, and you've got enough built up in here. And when we take a look at the rookies, I mean, you can be very excited about what you have there with Kyle Manungai, with Luther Burden, with Rome Odunze going into his third year, which is usually the year where you really see these guys pop, and hopefully a healthy season for Rome Odunze. Even with a guy like Jade Walker, like, the answers are clearly outlined. Now, Caleb still has to go out there and, like you said, do the boring things well. Hey, if it's not there deep and you don't have the time and you take a check down. But you also want to have that guy that when the fourth quarter shows up, he can get the job done. He can be super clutch in those moments. That's how you find yourself with a great quarterback in the long term. And having those, this is to me a lot of what we saw out of Josh Allen in that second year, or I'm sorry, maybe with Josh Allen was probably the third year, where you went, okay, he's putting it together. He might actually be a really good quarterback. And then you started to see, as he developed even better quarterback traits, all of a sudden it turned into, oh, crap, well, he's one of the best in the league. I mean, if you want to go MVP, right? He was the best in the league. But you've also got the guy that can get it done in the clutch. You've also got the guy. So like you see all of these traits where it's like he needs to get better here. He's got this. He's making this happen, but he's still finding ways to win games. I think that's a perfect quarterback for the situation that you've been in Chicago. Oh, by the way, what if they make the defense better next year? Because this is a team game. This is team success. And so I look at, when I saw the conversation, begin and kind of where people were like, I kind of like, maybe we should have went Drake Maye. Maybe we should have went here. I think you're in the perfect situation for what Chicago is. You just have to find a way, and it is the job of Ben Johnson to find a way to maximize on that success.
Yeah, again, just don't be a prisoner of the moment. We have the quarterback. We have the answer already. And as you mentioned, one side of the ball clearly has to improve this offseason, which would have made this special run that the Bears were on, probably even more complete, and maybe we'd be still talking about playing. And so for me, again, you look at the stats, I go back to the year that the Philadelphia Eagles won. Do you look at Jalen Hurts as this all-world dominant quarterback? Not necessarily, but he was a top quarterback in the league because he had a complete team, and that was the year a couple years ago where they won, and he only had about 2,800 passing yards. It was under 3,000 for the year. Yeah. Obviously, you had a really great year with Saquon, but you had weapons all around, and still that team got further. And so for me, that's what I'm saying, is that everything else matters when it comes to who you take at the quarterback position. It's the players around him. It's the coaching. It's the defense. It's again, at the end of the day, it's a team sport. It's the staff that you have around him that's going to continue to develop him. And so I think for the most part, both of these guys are going to be very, very good in the league. Like you mentioned, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. If that's one of the guys that we get and they turn into that version of whoever, I'm fine with it. And for me, I feel, again, that we have that special player already building. There's no way that I would think that we should have replaced him.
And I think that's the funny part about it, is like it's almost like we've never been in this conversation, right? So it's like people are looking for the reason why Caleb isn't the guy.
Yeah.
Or they're looking to find we should have went here. We should have went Jaden. Remember everybody last year, how did we not go Jaden Daniels? How you got to go Jaden Daniels? How you didn't even bring him in? And again, I don't like the process you went through. It's my only issue. You didn't bring in Jaden. You didn't bring in Drake. You didn't sit down and go through your due diligence with these guys. I think the process has been fixed based off of what we've seen in the draft this year. I think that you have a very different process about going through and finding talented pieces. So I'm excited about the future of that as well. But bottom line is, like, there is no reason, as JC fell off again, I guess. I don't know. Did we lose him? Oh, is he here? Okay, he here.
Did I just stand still for too long?
No, you just jumped off the screen and popped back on. I don't know what happened there. The bottom line is you have an extremely young, talented quarterback that has caused you to take a massive leap in his second year, and he's not to the point that we believe he's going to be yet. Imagine if Caleb Williams gets to 65% completion percentage. What quarterback you want there?
Definitely Caleb. Definitely Caleb.
Imagine if Caleb Williams gets to the point where the easy passes are the easy passes and he starts to get into those higher completion percentages. And now all of a sudden you've got the legs, you've got the arm, you've got the delivery, you've got the fourth quarter comebacks. Now all of a sudden, who's the better quarterback? And I think that's the part for a lot of people that it's tough. When you're living in the moment, you have a tendency to go, dang it, this could have been us right now.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited about what this team could be in 2 years. I think I really believe Chicago is going to be in this Super Bowl position in the next couple of seasons. I think that you have the combination that wins championships and wins championships for a long, long time. And for the first time going into an offseason, I'm not looking at Drake Maye and Mike Vrabel and going, dang, that could have been us.
Yeah.
It is us. We just got to improve a few situations around here. And the biggest thing for me is I look around the rest of the NFC, especially the NFC North, and I'm like, oh, it's a lot of opportunity. Ryan Poles might have been a prophet on take the North and never give it back.
Prophet is saying that. Look at all these other teams.
Because listen, Kevin O'Connell should be fired.
Wow.
Kevin O'Connell should be fired. There is no way that you sat in a room after winning, what they win, 14 games last year? And you looked at Sam Darnold and you had Daniel Jones in there. He sees him at practice. And you went J.J. McCarthy. There's no way that is a fireable offense. Like, I don't understand how we're just going to move on and go into next season. Oh, but he won 9 games. He figured it out. He won 9 games. He won 9 games in a situation that he put himself in. You know what I mean? Like, that's... I look around here. Oh, I love that defensive coordinator hire up in Green Bay, by the way. Loving that. Can't wait to see Jonathan Gannon versus Ben Johnson for the next 4 years. Yeah. I'm so excited.
I'm glad Al Harris didn't take that job. That means he might be coming back. I'm
praying it is. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm praying that I'm like, come on, Al, one more year. Give us one more year, baby.
At least. At least. Yeah. Please.
No, man, let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. Some weird technical difficulties this morning. I don't know what's going on. It's probably the cold, honestly. It's probably literally just...
it's literally -16 in Glenwood right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's probably the cold, so I'm assuming that that's one of the issues that we're having here. But hey, man, we appreciate y'all rocking with us through the technical difficulties. Man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We take a quick break, listening to a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, I want to grade this rookie class. Got a really, really good rookie class. Talk about how we felt they did this season. All that and more coming up next on the Morning Breeze. We'll be right back right after this.
Sure.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Ladies and gentlemen, we got merch. That's right. New website, new merch, all out. We've been telling you guys to pull up on us. Now you can at twcbreeze.com, where you can find out all of the latest stuff going on. What all can they find there, Super Producer?
Listen, you can join the nation, sign up to our mailing list, and be up to date for events and news. You can also visit the shop page and order merch, because we have t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got mugs, we got hats, we got all kind of stuff. So, hey, we appreciate you being tuned in with us. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us on all our socials. Check us out at twcbreeze.com.
He's way too excited.
I am.
Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to Showing Love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Even the stream is freezing up. It's so cold outside. I'm sad.
Bro, I need this weather to change quickly. It was actually a mild winter until like the last 2 weeks.
Bro, it went from like, oh, okay, it's kind of chilly out here. Even, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was outside a little bit. I was fine during the polar vortex.
Yeah, it was cool.
That
It was
they
all right.
ran back. It wasn't a polar vortex. It wasn't. I remember the one in what was it, 18 or 17, where we was out there and doing work in that mug, and it burned to be outside
Yes.
for more than 11 seconds.
Yes.
So
it was bad.
that one was fine. But it is cold. Yeah, I mean, we got a few days here of 0 and negatives. I don't like it. I want the old winter back. I want that old thing back.
I just want that old thing back.
As we continue through on this show, man, just had the conversation about, was it good to take Caleb Williams over Drake Maye? I love it. I love the Caleb's here. I'm excited to see what the future is going to be on this. And I think I'm very excited because of some of the rookies that have been paired up with Caleb Williams now going into their second year. This Bears team seems to have some answers on some of the players that they've gone out there and acquired in the draft. And I want to grade some of those young players as started off here with our number 10 overall pick.
Ooh,
a very exciting young man that had Jordan JC initially confused on why we made the pick. He was like, no, please, God, no. Why?
Who's this guy?
No, but turned out to be a pretty good player, JC, as Colston Lovelin. I think what you saw from him this year was not only really good in the limited time, because remember, he was a little banged up there for a little while, came back, got dealt with a little bit of injury, but fought through it. 713 yards this season, 58 receptions, 12.3 yard per reception average, and scored 6 touchdowns for the Chicago Bears. This is an A+ pick for me because of everything that Colston brings as far as blocking in the run game, as far as pass catching ability, as far as stretching the field, as far as being somebody that Caleb can count on consistently, and being, to me, the answer to what has been the biggest catalyst in probably the last 25 at least years of NFL football. Dominant quarterback, dominant tight end, winning Super Bowls, or at least getting 2 Super Bowls with some of those guys like Matt Ryan and stuff like that, where you look at that combination. But a lot of wins when you have that combo paired together. I think that you have a top 5 tight end in the NFL right now. I think that you have a player that is going to cause defenses confusion right now. And I'll be honest with you, I've said there's only one other player that some of the play of Colston Lovelin reminds me of. And it's not the fact that he can catch it and run and all that, right? Brock Bowers can do that. Trey McBride can do that. George Kittle can do that. It's the fact that there's so many times with Colston where you just go, how the heck is he open? And there's only one other player that's ever made me do that, and that's Travis Kelce. There's so many times where you just look at Colston and you just go, "What? How's nobody guarding this 6'7" dude running naked down the sideline?"
Yeah.
And he's just wide open, makes the catch, looks at a guy, runs in for the touchdown. Like, that is something we have not seen. I love the Colston Lovelin pick. Your thoughts on that pick there, Jordan JC?
I'm right there with you. This is the only A+ pick out of the draft rookie grades that I'm going to give as a perfect score for a lot of different reasons. And that doesn't mean that the other ones are bad, but this is just a perfect score for me because, number one, he didn't start off the season the way he ended the season. Obviously, he still had to kind of come back from, the warming up, understanding the playbook, having a few injuries in the beginning of the season in OTAs and training camp, just like Luther Burden did. And he turned into your leading receiver. He is a terrific blocker, as you mentioned. Like, there's a lot of aspects of his game that are already excellent. He has a certain aggression to his game as well. He is a very good route runner. He's a guy who can get up and get the ball, 50-50 balls. He's probably your best receiver when it comes to his hands. He's a sure-handed catcher. Like, those are all things that you can kind of move forward with and say, this is what we have in this guy. And shout out to Gucci Maness, because I think he said it best. He said A+ pick because he's dependable and he delivered when it mattered. That's exactly how I feel. You go to the playoffs this year, first game against Green Bay, I mean, he dominated. 8 receptions, 15 targets, 137 yards, 17.1 yard average.
Most receiving yards in the playoffs by a rookie tight end ever.
There you go.
Colston Lovelin.
They're right there. And even in the last game, the one that we lost, had he not gotten injured, we don't know if that would be one of the options that Caleb would have gone to in the end. He was already working on a very good game. He had 10 targets that game for 56 yards and 4 receptions. And so, again, I love this pick. Obviously, everybody knows the meme that Pat put of me not knowing who this guy was because everybody was on the Tyler Warren train from the very beginning. I'm like, oh, it's either Tyler Warren or bust for me if we are going to go tight end. And you saw how great that started. But if you told me you had to pick between the two now, Colston Lovelin all day. I mean, this is going to be someone who with Caleb is going to have a special connection for years to come. And the fact that it has already kind of flourished in year one of its form is going to be exciting to see how this tandem just by itself gets us further season after season. So A+ again.
Yeah, no, like I think you love everything you've seen from Colston, and it's only made better by the next pick that the Bears made, which I think probably it had us all confused, right? Because you have Rome Odunze, you got DJ Moore, you didn't expect to go wide receiver again, but you end up going with Luther Burden with the next pick, and Luther Burden banged up through training camp, did not basically did not participate in rookie mini camp or training camp. Came in kind of late last 4 or 5 weeks and really struggled. I mean, really struggled. Like I showed up here and I was like, he doesn't know the playbook. Like you can see it. Caleb's yelling at him. Ben's yelling at him. He doesn't know the playbook. And from going from that, where I think even when he got on the field, he still didn't know the playbook. There was still those moments where Caleb's going, get over here. You got to be there. You got to be, hey, motion, timeout. There's still those moments where you looked at him throughout the season and were a little frustrated early on. But he turned into one heck of a wide receiver. And dare I say, maybe the best route runner outside of Colston Lovelin on this football team. And a guy who can create, you put the ball in his hands and he just finds ways to create things. He's gotten yards that it didn't make sense. 60 targets this season, 47 receptions, 652 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. And to me, I would say this is still an A. I wouldn't go A+. I would say this is an A pick. You love everything that he brought to the table. Wasn't utilized a ton every week because of the amount of weapons you have. But you can see so much talent in this young man. You can see how he can break down a defense. And when you got to the point in the season where you needed to go to him, he stepped up in a massive way and had some really big games for you.
Man, I'm a little bit harsher than you on my grade curve with him. I'm gonna give him a B, and one of the reasons is what you just said.
You son of a no.
Like for me, I just think that because Luther has so much talent and so much potential to be special, especially where he was drafted versus some of the other receivers in his draft, whether it was Matthew Golden or Ted McMillan, who also had a very, very good season, is going to be a fine receiver. I just think that when you look at Luther Burden and all the things that he has the potential to be, an extremely good route runner, a willing blocker, by the way. I think that was one of the first things I saw when he got on the field and, Ben started to trust him was because he started blocking. I remember
100%.
the goal line stance where I don't know if it was Swift or Manungai that had a touchdown one of those first weeks of the season, but you clearly saw Luther Burden putting his body on the line for his team. No block, no rock. And so I think that's what catapulted him into the trust of Ben Johnson that gave him more of a chance to get on the field. Then you had that play with the flea flicker where DeAndre gave that slow ball back to Caleb and he threw it 60 yards down the field to a streaking Luther Burden. That's what kind of started the Luther Burden train. The reason why I give him a B is because of what you mentioned. I think that understanding the playbook going into week 20 and going into the playoffs where you had the Green Bay game and from the onset, Caleb's telling him, no, you're over here on this side. And then when, you're supposed to be running a route, you choose to put up your hand and you're going a different route from the one you're supposed to, and he gets intercepted. And so for me, those mental mistakes, those times where you need to be a little bit crisper in understanding what the play is and following the assignment, doing your job, being disciplined. You saw Caleb go off on him on the sideline. That's where I see the improvement needing to be made for him. Those things should not carry on and linger all the way into the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you're really on your details, even as a rookie, you should be doing that. You should be held accountable for getting in the playbook. And so over the offseason, I think Luther Burden can turn into an even more special receiver. And that's why I give him so much space to improve.
Yeah, listen, it does come down to, and I don't know whether he was or wasn't, right? Maybe it's just some guys have to be on the field to learn it. Some guys have to be, you have to rep it in practice, and some guys can just look at the playbook and go, okay, this is what I need to know, but I can make that happen. Randy Moss was one where you give him the playbook and he's got it. Like Bill Belichick talked about, when they traded for Randy Moss, the first thing Randy said was, you got to give me the playbook because we got camp in a couple of weeks and Tom Brady not going to be cussing me out because I don't know what the play is. And he was just able to retain that information to go. Chad Johnson was one who was like that until he got to that Patriots playbook. But he was one where he was always in the tape. He was always in the study. He could just make things happen. And then there's certain guys where they just have to go out there and make plays. And T.O., while he was still phenomenal at it, right? But T.O. was one of those guys where he was just like, I need to know the gist of the play, and I'll make the rest happen.
Right.
And so I think that there is, maybe Luther is one where he has to be on the field. He has to learn it a little more by repping it and getting in there. But that just means you got to put in more work leading up to that. I thought we saw some really good things out of Luther this year. And I was excited and I'm very excited for what the future of Luther has become. Whenever you're having a conversation about moving on from a wide receiver because you feel like you have a younger, more talented wide receiver, that's a good place to be in.
It is.
Now, whether you get rid of the wide receiver or not, that's a different conversation. But it's a great place to be in where you go, hey, this really young talent is so good. We can get rid of this also somewhat young talent that costs a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
That's better to be in than, all right, we got our number one is Equinemius St. Brown. Maybe he can be his brother.
Oh, hey.
Dang
I
it.
remember those days.
He cannot.
We got Byron Pringle. We got everybody.
Remember, everybody was hype on Byron Pringle because he smiled.
I thought he was speedy and could catch the ball.
Yeah, you were a Byron Pringle guy.
I was a Pringles guy.
Yeah, you love a Pringle guy.
Yeah, those chips failed.
Oh, boy. Let's keep it moving here. Azie Trapillo. What were your thoughts on Azie Trapillo this season?
Now, here's a guy that I'm going to give an A. He's not an A+. I'm going to give him an A because of all the things that he represented. Left tackle has been and unfortunately probably will be now a question mark in some some ways because you looked at Braxton Jones, you look at Theo Benedict. There were so many questions about who are we going to go into the season, starting on that side. That was the only question mark on the line. The other four positions were down packed with Tooney, Dahlman, Jackson, and Wright. And so when Trapillo finally got his turn, I feel like he took it and just ran with it. 491 snaps played, 2 sacks allowed, 2 penalties. He was 12th overall in total pressures allowed. PFF gives him a overall grade of 70, pass blocking 71.5, and run blocking 63.6. And so as a rookie, you're talking about a tackle who kind of came into his own, and he was impressive because he went up against some really good, premium rushers during the season. And you barely heard his name. You barely heard his name with penalties. You barely heard his name, affecting Caleb. And so that's what you want to see at the least. I felt like he was going to improve off of that. Unfortunately, you had the injury in the playoffs that, we don't know how long that's going to linger. Obviously, you already said that Ryan Poles mentioned that may carry over into the next season with him returning.
He won't be back next year.
So, and then again, when he does return, those type of injuries are always kind of like in the air as to whether or not he will be the same type of player. And so you hope that because he's young and he still was on his, in his rookie year, that maybe he can heal in a way where that won't stunt his growth for the rest of his career. So I still have hope that we found our answer at left tackle. You might still have to go a different route there. But overall for him, when he was healthy, I love what he represented.
Yeah, listen, I think that Azie, I'll be honest with you, I go A+, being a rookie and stepping in at left tackle and not just playing well. Like Braxton got in and he played well. Azie really took over that left side. There was no question who was your starting left tackle moving forward in year one of that. And I do hope that he's able to bounce back. Left tackle is one of the hardest positions in football to play.
It is.
And it's the hardest position to go out there and find. And he did that coming from being a right tackle. He overcame the odds of, remember, he was benched because they were like, he's not aggressive enough on the left side. We haven't gotten him to that point. And then by the time you fast forward through the season, you get to this crazy stretch where he's getting TJ Watt, he's getting Myles Garrett, he's getting Aiden Hutchinson. He's getting all these names. Oh, not Aiden Hutchinson, because Aiden Hutchinson was out. He got Micah Parsons the first time they played him, right? Like, you looked out there and you were like, yo, he kind of handled his responsibilities on that left side to the point where people were like, we got to attack somewhere different on the defensive line.
Yeah.
To the point where it became, we can't attack the rookie because he's on his P's and Q's. We have to try and find somewhere else on the defensive line to attack. And I'm not saying every game was perfect, but he did a pretty dang good job out there versus some premier edge rushers in this NFL. Some guys who, Myles Garrett gave him praise. He was kind of joking with him, but he was like, hey, you did a great job out there. All that grunting is hilarious though. Just talking about how Azie's going through his motions on the play, and he's just he's like, you grunting to get some of that power, huh? Like, but he showed, that hey, I can stand out here as a rookie and figure this out. So to me, Azie's A+. Love what we saw from him. Shamar Turner's an incomplete. I mean, you just didn't see enough from him this season. Ruben Hippolyte, I don't know what that is. I guess incomplete as well. He literally didn't play.
When he was out there, he was okay. He was okay.
I couldn't tell you my favorite Ruben Hippolyte play from the season.
Yeah, I'm not giving him a grade either.
You didn't see anything. You know what I mean? Like those are concerning moments. Zay Frazier, kind of that same thing. Yeah. And then you get into, listen, I don't know how you give this anything less than an A. As you go through the draft, I'm sure you will, JC. But like,
that's right,
7th round pick making the impact that Kyle Manungai made this year. Hey, it's a 7th round pick. You didn't expect him to be a football player. Now I think we did because we were like,
you didn't expect a football player to be a
bro.
football
Yeah, I
player.
mean, 7 round pick. It'd be like, no, we got somebody bring the towels in. You know what I mean? Now, I will say this. I think on this show we did, when we saw the Kyle Manungai pick come through, we were like, was literally Ashton Genty, but in the Big Ten. So
Which
that's
means
kind of better in a way. Like I feel like we were kind of on the Manungai train a little earlier.
Oh yeah.
The second that the pick was made, and we were like, wait a minute, like the leading rusher in the Big Ten is here. So
how's that?
I'm not gonna say that he exceeded my expectations this year. I think he was about what I expected him to be. And I remember we were preseason. I said Kyle Manungai might be the starting running back coming into this season, or when we were in training camp. So he met my expectations, but I do give him an A for being a guy taken into the bench. He was treated like a 7th round pick. He was treated like, you got to fight every single day to make this team. Was he overlooked? Sure. But he did a lot to the point where Ben Johnson said preseason, that's going to be somebody we can trust in December. And he absolutely was.
Yeah. I'm giving it a B+. It's right under you. And shout out to Nolan Branch. I agree too. My boy says Cal, one of the best draft surprises league wide. I do agree. 7th over. I mean, it's not 7th overall. 7th in the 7th round. I feel like, why did people overlook him? I understand there were so many great running backs coming out of that draft, but you're in the Big Ten
with size with less name.
Size with less.
Because he's Ashton Genty, right? Him and Ashton Genty are literally the same size. Genty's a little faster. Genty's a lot faster. Genty's a lot faster.
Yeah, he is. He's the breakaway speed. So for me, I give it a B. And the reason why is because, again, you didn't expect this with DeAndre Swift kind of being the lead back and getting the bulk of the carries. You expected Kyle Manungai to maybe be just kind of an afterthought. Maybe you thought maybe Roschon Johnson coming into this year would have more of a responsibility, more of a role, and it never came to fruition. And so I feel like once Kyle was able to showcase what he was able to do, then that's when he took off. The 783 yards, 169 carries, 4.6 average, 5 touchdowns, and even in the reception category, had 18 receptions for 164 yards and 9.1 average. My thing that I want to see improve with Kyle Manungai, because I do think that he can be your every down back. He has the ability to take on that workload. We saw that, I believe it was in the Philly game, where he had over 160 yards rushing. I need him to have more sure hands. That's the only thing that I kind of came away from this season thinking that he lacked, is that when you need Caleb Williams to kind of dump the ball off and get the easy passes, you need a running back that is going to make sure that he catches the ball. And so I need him to improve in that aspect. Outside of that, obviously, there's not really much you can do about the speed. I believe he's faster than his 40-yard time. You always think about
he's play fast. He's play fast.
He's play fast. You can tell that he can move, and he's very assertive. Like when he breaks in and hits a hole, he hits it hard. He's a power mover. He's a guy who usually on first contact, you're not bringing him down. You saw many times during the season.
Take the paint off your helmet.
He took the G off of a helmet almost against the Packer linebacker, which I love. But for me, I think that he has the potential to be a starter, and you really don't hear that a lot coming from a 7th rounder. So that's why I give him a B+.
Yeah, 783 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, 4.6 yards per carry. Found that 4.5 yards that Eric Bieniemy was talking about. I thought he was great this year. I give it an A. I think that he is exactly what I expected him to be. And so when you win at a pick like that, I feel confident in it. You didn't see him catch passes at all in college. Dare I say, he is a modern day, and I don't know if size is even similar on this. He's a modern day Jordan Howard.
Well, I think he's way better than Jordan.
Jordan Howard was pretty good.
I think he's better than Jordan.
And listen, he
moved better than Jordan too.
He's also in a much better offense than Jordan Howard was in. So
he was.
He might be. But I think that what I mean by that is like he is your turnaround, hand it off. He's gonna get the job done on the ground for you type of player.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we counted Jordan Howard as for so long. The reason that the Bears were so willing to get rid of him is because we went, well, he can't catch the football. Like, Hopefully Kyle Manungai works on those hands this offseason and exceeds that expectation. But
Jordan Howard's a little taller. 5'8", 207 for Kyle Manungai. 6 feet, 224 for
Jordan Howard was
Howard.
6 feet.
Yeah. Jeez, go figure.
Well, I wouldn't have thought Jordan Howard was 6 feet, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
I just see a guy who's, that don't look at him and expect more than what you've gotten. Appreciate everything he gives. You know what I mean? That's how I look at him. Like that, I didn't expect him to all of a sudden magically turn into a great hands player when he didn't catch the football in college at all.
There's
like
that.
literally, I think he had
agree.
less than 100 passing targets in college.
Probably because they didn't need him to catch.
Well, no, the entire offense was just turn around and give it to Kyle.
Yeah. No
You
fumbles.
also didn't have a quarterback that could get it to him. Like,
Yeah. No fumbles also, by the way, which was
Yeah.
very impressive. Even to this day, I don't believe he's fumbled the ball. And so, like, all that combined, I feel like you have a back who, if you want to move on, and we always talk about, how to move money around to address other needs on this team, he could be potentially your 3-down back.
Yeah.
And I would be confident in that going forward. And so even if you say maybe there's nothing else that he can show, you think this is the potential of the ceiling, I like where that ceiling is. I think he can be a top back in this league if you're talking about a Ben Johnson offense that's predicated off of the run and then this offensive line. Like, that's what it's really about, is you got the guys up front that are going to make all of these different holes in spacing for Kyle Manungai to get chunk yards. So I think we got a steal.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think you got arguably the steal of the draft. You got this year's version of and I don't think he's the same level of player, but this year's version of a Bucky Irving.
Okay.
Where, he ended up going
Bucky is
later
better.
than maybe you thought he was going to go.
Yeah.
So you feel good about that, but there's still a lot of growth, still a lot of improvement. I'll be honest with you, coming into this offseason, you got to be even better. You got to be twice as good as you were the last offseason, coming into this offseason, especially fixing this defense, because you got a lot more holes and a lot less. Well, I shouldn't say a lot more holes. You have one massive hole.
You do.
Take that for what you will. And you got less money to work with to go out there and fix it. So we'll see what kind of magic Ryan Poles ends up working this offseason. If you have not done so yet, make sure to hit that thumbs up, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below as well on any of the topics that we had today. Do you think that Drake Maye was the right pick? Or I'm sorry, that Caleb Williams was the right pick for the Bears? Or are you in the camp that feels like we should have went Drake Maye because he has gotten to a Super Bowl here? And let us know your grades on the rookies in the comments below. For Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, it is your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.
We got a shout out to Dan Tanner, member for 46 months.
Oh, Tanner, stay rocking with the channel.
Tanner rocking with the channel. He said we could have beaten both teams who played yesterday. I'm just saying. Maybe Seattle.
Boy, I ain't gonna lie to you. Sam Darnold proved me wrong. I said Sam Darnold was gonna get his head took off and he was not gonna be able to play.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Seattle.
Sam Darnold impressed me yesterday.
If we were in the AFC, I think we would have made the Super Bowl.
He was moving.
Man. Yeah. I don't know if I would have fired Kevin O'Connell, but I definitely would have had him on the hot seat.
Ooh, no, that's fireable. You picked J.J. McCarthy over 2 quarterbacks, both that could have made the playoffs if one didn't tear his ACL.
Yeah.
Or his Achilles? Did he tear his Achilles? I don't remember what he tore.